Today I'll be making the trending kimono design, the bubu agbada design, and I'll be using this Ankara fabric with this yellow dry lace material. I'll be using this as the design at the center front of the bubu. I'll be combining these two material. So I'm going to set this aside. I'll set this material for my design aside for now to concentrate on the measurement and cutting on the Ankara fabric. I'm using about 3 yards for my Ankara. The Ankara I've got here is about 3 yards of fabric, and I folded into 4. I first of all folded into 2. Then I fold towards the center to make it into 4. So I'll be cutting both the front and the back together. And I have here my lines. I already have my lines ruled out. This is the waistline and the hip line. From my center front, from the shoulder line, I have 18.5. I'm using 18.5 on my as my waistline and 24.5 as my hip line. All right, so I'll move over to the center front now to take my neckline design, So I'm going to be bringing the fabric closer. I'm using 3.5 inches. As my width, and my depth of for the back, I'm using 1.5 for the back. I'm using 1.5 for the back and 8 inches for the front. I'm using 8 inches for the front. And of course, on this front here, I'll be noting 1 inch. So from this point, I'm going to connect for my V. I'll be slanting here. So, and now I have both the front. This is the front, the neck design, the front, and this is the back. So at the side here, I'll be coming down by 1.5 inches. And I'll be connecting to this edge. For my shoulder slope, I've already connected for my shoulder slope. Then I'll be taking the ham opening. I'll be using 12.5 for my ham opening. This is 12.5 for my ham opening. So I'll move over to my hip line to take my hip measurements with additional 5 inches because I want it to be very roomy. I'll be adding extra 5 inches. My hip measurements of 12 inches with 5 inches, making 17 inches. So I'll be taking that 17 inches also on the waistline. I'll be doing that at the end of the gown as well. I'll be connecting to make a straight line. So I'll be using the whole of this for my sleeve. I have about 22 inches. I won't be cutting anything out. I'll be using the whole of that length for my sleeve. You can place your tape pull at your center back this way, then pull. Okay, but for me, I'll be using the whole of this as my sleeve. The next thing for me is just to make a little curve around here. I'll be making a little curve. And I'll be joining. So this is all what I've got now. Before I cut it out, I'll bring out my material for my design. I'll fold it into two. I'll be placing it on it like so. So this is what I'll be cutting out. This is what I'll be cutting out for my design. Okay. I can then cut out my fabric. To remove this paper, I'll be placing my hot iron. Once I just place it on it, it's going to melt and it's going to remove. Okay, so I'll go ahead with the cutting now. So I've cut out for both the front and the back. When cutting out, I actually cut the back first, then I remove the back piece to cut my front. Okay, that was what I did. And this is the material I'll be using for the neck design. I've actually placed it on it to trace out the neck design. So I'll be cutting this out as well for my design. So the next step is to take it to my sewing machine. I'm going to open it up. After cutting it out, I'll first of all place it on this fabric. I will sew it down together, then bring the back piece to join it on the shoulder line. Then after doing that, I'll bring it back for you to see. All right, so I've added my design. This is what I eventually went for, and I've joined it on the shoulder joining. I've joined both the front and the back piece together. So on the sleeve here, I added this to it on the sleeve area. I added this to it. So the next thing for me now, before I join it on the side, I'm going to take my tape rule and note I'm going to measure around the neck line to cut my pieces, to cut the fabric I'll be attaching to the neck area. And I'll be flipping it when after joining it. I'm going to pass it under then I close it up. All right, that's what is left. After doing that, then I'll join it on the side. So this is what I have for my agbada bubu. This is what I have for the design now. This, so I'm going to take my shape tool and measure around the neck area. So here is the final result of the short kimono dress. I closed it on the side, and look at it. I put it on my body foam. Very beautiful.